Welcome back to the SportsMaxZone, and the 14th ICC U19 World Cup bowled off early on Friday in Guyana. This is the first time the event is being staged in the Caribbean. In the opener at Providence Stadium, Australia beat West Indies by 6 wickets with 31 balls to spare. After winning the toss and batting, West Indies were dismissed for 169 inside 41 overs, with captain Akeem Ogiste top scoring with 57. Cooper Connolly took 3 for 17 for the Aussies, and Australia in reply then made 170 for 4, with opener Tajay Willie top scoring unbeaten on 86. While the final scores, West Indies 169, Australia 170 for 4. In the second match of the tournament, played at the Everest Cricket Ground in Georgetown, Sri Lanka beat Scotland by 40 runs. Sri Lanka won the toss and batted, posted 218 all out, with Sakuna Nirdarshana top scoring with 85. Scotland were then dismissed for 178 of 48.4 overs. Jack Jarvis top scored with 55 against Dunith Willage, 5 for 27. While the final scores, Sri Lanka 218, Scotland 178. The tournament continues on Saturday with 4 more matches. These are the full matches. We have Canada versus United Arab Emirates. That's the third match. Then India will be up against South Africa. Ireland on the 19th face Uganda, and Papua New Guinea, they will be seeing Zimbabwe. Well, we're now joined by Chris Taylor. We can refer to Chris as an all-rounder. Chris, welcome.
Hi, guys.
Yeah, man.
Hope you're doing well. I'll start by asking you to assess today's performance by the young Windies team.
I think a bit of a patchy performance. Some things to be positive about. Obviously, Ogiste, his half century, the batting of Clark, that partnership of 95. I thought the bowlers, the spinners bowled well. Amari comes to mind, the 6'5" West Indies rep or spinner. So yeah, some positives from there. I thought that a little more mental application and maybe the result could have been different. I thought that the decision to bat and not bowl might have been a mistake, especially considering there was moisture in that Providence pitch. I thought the West Indies fielding could have been a lot better, and I thought that let them down a bit and they gave away some needless runs. So a bit of an up and down performance, a little bit more application with the bat, especially after doing the hard work and getting that 95 partnership going, that 4th wicket partnership. I thought that the way the 2 batsmen at the crease got out was a little bit disappointing. So from that perspective, as I said, some good things to look forward to look back at, but also some areas of improvement needed if West Indies are going to progress.
Yeah, Chris, and I want to spend some time talking about the root of all problems, the fact that the West Indies batsmen, similar to our senior team, are unable to bat out the 50 overs. And you know, what could be attributing to this? Why is it so difficult if you've trained to bat a certain number of overs to actually do it when you're on a professional game?
Well, as I said, I thought the decision at first to bat first kind of put the West Indies on the back foot. I thought Australia, especially with their pace attack of Whitney and company, really utilised the conditions well. There was moisture in the wicket, the ball was moving off the surface, there was a bit of swing as well. So I thought it was, it was difficult for the West Indies batsmen initially. I mean, with the likes of Paris and so on, and Bishop, who we have seen in England produce centuries and big half centuries. So I thought the Australians made the best of the conditions early. Having said that, at 12 for 3, I thought the West Indies recovered well and batted very well. The captain did excellently, left-handed batsman Ogiste, the St. Lucian skipper. I thought he batted very well for his half century. And I also thought that Rivalda Clark did very well, the Bayesian as well, making 37. But having done the hard work and getting yourself to, you brought up the 100 with the same 3 wickets down. I just thought at that point it was necessary for the youngsters to push on, and that is what is a bit disappointing. That is where we have seen the seniors fall apart as well, where their cup is full with making 30s and 40s and getting starts. instead of going on to 3 figures. And I thought it was necessary for these 2 guys who have done the hard work, got themselves in, got acclimatized, to really push on and make a big 100, at least one of them to make a big 100. And the way that they got out just showed a bit of a lack of concentration at the critical time, and it cost the West Indies in the end. They were about at least 50 runs short.
Yeah, Chris, your thoughts on the Aussie man of the match, Teague Wiley, only 17 years old, one of the youngest players on the pitch today, but batted with a lot of maturity.
I thought Wiley batted very well, 86 not out, and I thought he held the Australian innings together. Right from the top of the order. I think the pitch had flattened out quite a bit by the time the West Indies were ready to bowl, and so conditions were a bit easier for him, but nevertheless, I thought he made good decisions, and I think that's important when you're building an innings, especially in a tournament. He saw the rough areas of the West Indian bowling, Lane and company up front, who did have the ball doing a bit of things. I thought he saw it off well, constructed his innings well. At no point was he really careless. And as he said, little by little, chipped away at the West Indies score. Even when he lost partners, he still kept his head. I thought that was important from his standpoint. And the fact that he ended up not out at the end of the day just shows the mental aptitude, the mental application of him from the top of the order coming right down, because he could have easily have fallen away for the Australians after they lost that 3rd wicket in and around, what was it? I can't remember if it was 100 mark or the 80 mark or so on.
Yes.
When they lost that 3rd wicket. It could easily have fallen apart for him had he been careless. Maybe the Australians would have been under a lot more pressure, but the fact that he was always at the crease right throughout, I think ensured the Australian victory, even though the West Indies spinners in the middle overs bowled very well. 58 runs conceded from some 19 overs. I thought that was excellent work by Amori and company. And I thought, it just shows Wiley's application. He did very well.
Yeah. They say winning is a habit, Chris, and the West Indies are coming off back-to-back losses in their warm-up matches and a loss in the opening game here. The team management and Captain Auguste now have the job of rebuilding the mental strength of these players to get themselves back into the tournament, because they have to start winning for the remainder of the group matches, won't they?
Yes, and they will have a tough match coming up against Sri Lanka as well. Scotland also in the group. I think that the fact that the West Indies are home, that in itself will make them feel show a level of confidence, hopefully. The fact that they would have known the conditions and been used to it. I thought seeing the West Indies out on the field, they did look a confident bunch. They didn't look like a team necessarily coming off of 2 losses. Because if you saw how the captain backed them and Clark, and even later on, Clark, the other Clark in terms of McKenny, Clark, he batted, very well at the end of the innings. 3 sixes in succession and well, and he bowled well as well, the all-rounders. So there is a level of confidence in and amongst the team. I think that the West Indies generally over history haven't had much joy against Australia. I think there's one victory the West Indians have recorded against Australia at this level. So it's not been a matchup that has been favourable to the West Indies. And it has continued as such. They will have to go back to the drawing board. But as I said, I don't know if it's a sign of confidence more than mental application. I would love to see these West Indian players really dig in for long periods of time and make starts count in terms of their batting, which is, the batting is the area of 50 over cricket where we think we've really struggled. Both at the senior level, and we're seeing it here. That, as I said, getting starts and not going on is a real Achilles, and that is something that needs to be fixed. The mental application, the ability to concentrate for long periods and bat 30, 40 overs, which is like what, Wiley did. So, yeah.
Yeah, Chris, well, we're hoping that, we don't repeat our errors and we improve as we continue along the tournament. I want to thank you so much for joining us, and we'll connect again.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Chris Taylor there. We like to call him our all-rounder on the SportsMaxZone. Well, we continue now with cricket. Travis Head, he returned to the Australia lineup and produced a swashbuckling century on day 1 of the 5th Ashes Test. The match is being played at the Belarive Oval in Hobart, the first time an Ashes Test is being played on the island state of Tasmania. The ground is the 7th Australian venue to host an Ashes Test and only the 14th venue across England and Australia to host one of these matches. While curtailed by rain, it was a thoroughly entertaining day's play as England's bowlers threatened to run riot from the first over. The Aussies recovered from 12 for 3 to reach 241 for 6 at the close. Ricardo Chambers has the details.
First ever Ashes Test at Belarive Oval in Hobart, Stuart Broad bowling the very first delivery.
Lets it go, they like it from behind. Stuart Broad. He was appealing on the way down though, wasn't he?
England had won the toss and chose to field on a bowling-friendly strip, and the rewards came quick and fast. David Warner, the first to go, edging to slip without scoring. The massive wicket of Marnus Labuschagne was offered up, but Zach Crawley didn't accept.
Beautiful catch just a couple of overs ago. The chance goes begging, and it's the #1 player in the world.
England continued to bowl brilliantly though. Stuart Broad taking care of Usman Khawaja, the left-hander who had made 2 centuries in the 4th Test, contributing just 6, having been forced to trade the #5 spot to open the innings. 7 for 2 quickly became 12 for 3 when Vice-Captain Steve Smith nicked another one to Crawley at slip.
Fired up Robinson has his second, his 11th for the series. Australia, they are in big trouble.
England seeming well in control at that stage, but a quick-fired 7-1 partnership between Labuschagne and Travis Head ensured the Aussies counter-attacked with good effect. Labuschagne striking 9 fours in his 44 from 53 deliveries before Broad disturbed his stumps.
He went across too far, he slipped over. Big wicket before the break, it's Stuart Broad.
Cameron Green joined Head, and the two put the England attack to the sword, albeit an attack short of Ollie Robinson, who did not bowl after lunch due to back spasms. Head, who missed the 4th Test due to a COVID-19 infection, would validate his selection, reaching a 4th Test century.
It's an innings she'll go a long way to see a better one. A stunning century. Elegance, panache, sprinkled with power. It's his 4th Test ton, he's second in the series. Travis Head maturing before our very eyes.
However, the left-hander lasted just 1 more delivery, a leading edge providing a catch for Robinson, ending a 121-run 5th wicket stand with Cameron Green. Green, who smashed 8 fours in his 74 of 109 deliveries, also seemed well on course for 3 figures, but the 22-year-old fell to a well-thought-out plan.
You can see the appreciation of his teammates. That Crawley settled nicely. They had a plan and they executed.
Australia reaching 241 for 6 when rain prevented any further play. Alex Carey on 10 and Mitchell Stark yet to score, set to continue when play resumes on day 2. That's tonight, Caribbean time. Ollie Robinson 2 for 24 and Broad 2 for 48 are the leading wicket takers for England so far, with Mark Wood and Chris Wokes taking a wicket each.
All right, so we see Australia here in the driver's seat of day 1 of the 5th Ashes.
That's the greenest pitch I've ever seen in my life. That looks, I was struggling to think that was Tasmania, because that looks more in keeping with a pitch in Durham or somewhere in Gloucestershire or somewhere. In the UK, I've never seen a test pitch that green.
Well, at least at some point the England bowlers enjoyed it and they made good use of it. Unfortunately for them, Ollie Robinson had back spasms and wasn't able to bowl after lunch, and I think they were hamstrung by that. 2 for 24 off 8 overs. If he had bowled, if he was fresh and had bowled for the rest of the day, maybe the Aussies wouldn't have been in the position they're in now.
Yeah, but quickly, he's played 4 of the 5 tests. This is the 5th test. He's come off the field injured in every test.
Yeah, so he needs to get himself checked out. I just feel like England, they gave this one away. At that point in time, they were 12 for 3, and then I fell asleep and woke up back, and that was it. England was done for.
It's Australia, there'll always be a counter-attack.
Yeah, they have an earlier start tonight because so much time was lost to rain on day 1. So look out for commentary tonight on SportsMax at 10:30, 11:30 Eastern Caribbean time. That's half an hour earlier than we would normally have.
All right, looking forward to that. Well, we're taking a quick break and we'll be back.